Segmentation, targeting and positioning. It is also known as STP. Segmentation, targeting and positioning, they are the basic building blocks of marketing. It's a very important concept in marketing, and it is very important that marketers master this topic and students learn this topic. For students, it is important that as they step into the corporate world, if they are into the marketing, at that time, it will be very, very useful. So let's talk about the story. I'm talking about a brand, about a company. This is about Bombay Oil Industries Limited, BOIL, which was constituted before independence, and it was managed at that time by four brothers. It so happened that after independence, they wanted to separate each brother, getting some part of the business. As a result, Harsh Mariwala, these are the people who came from Kutch to Mumbai and they set up an oil business and other business. So Harsh Mariwala, he took over one part of the business and he felt that let me turn into a consumer company. So at that time, the oil, was sold in 15 liters can or 15 liters packaging. He decided that it's a time to come out with a packaging of a smaller denomination. And he worked out on that packaging for smaller denomination, and that led to the birth of the brand known as Parachute. So Parachute again brought innovation now in the area of packaging. All the other oils, were sold into a glass packaging. But at that time, a visionary leadership with a futuristic, mind thought that let me come out with this Parachute into a plastic bottle. And that was a roaring success, sterling success. And the company continued to grow. It faced challenges, but it navigated those challenges and came out better. Now, it so happened that the edible oil industry, were marketed based on different kind of geographical. That is based on the geography. There was a specific type of oil which was preferred. That means if you go to north, then it's basically a ghee preparation or a vegetable oil. If you go towards east, then you find double filtered mustard oil, or you find kachi ghani oil. If you come towards west, you find at that time groundnut oil. And if you come towards, say, a state of Kerala, then it is coconut oil. There was some trend which was going on. The trend was related to the concern about health. And now Marico decided that it will, respond to this change in the market. And it came out with a Saffola oil. Saffola oil, that was oil which claimed that it is good for the people who suffer cardiac arrest. And during that time, that is after 90s, because of the kind of the life, people were following a corporate life, not getting time to exercise. Many people were getting the cardiac attacks. Marico found this problem and they felt that Saffola oil is an answer to arrest this cardiac problem and also to make people, the life, a life where they can be considered to be a healthy life. So here is a segmentation, health, and that segmentation was tapped by this company. The name of the company is Marico, as I told, and the brand Saffola. Now Saffola also extended into other product category and it became a very successful brand. But there are also the campaigns. Saffola also tied up with the doctors, and doctors, now it was the first company to approach doctors, and doctors started prescribing the patients to go for Saffola oil. So wherever there were health concerns and wherever people wanted to improve health, wherever people, even if you do not have heart problem, but you want to keep your heart tickling, then Saffola oil by Marico is considered as an answer. So here is a story. I hope you would have liked this story. And now I am opening up the topic of segmentation, targeting and positioning. So segmentation, where the segmentation starts? The segmentation starts with the business strategies, with the marketing strategies. And then you look into the market. You try to divide the market on the basis of various methods. It is also known as the basis of segmentation. So it can be geographic segmentation, it can be demographic segmentation, it can be on the basis of the psychographics, or it can be based on the benefits, or on the user or the usage situation. On that basis, you can segment the market. So for example, on the basis of the benefit for a gasoline, that is petrol, in US market, it was segmented into different types. One was the type of a segment based on the benefit who are looking for a price, less price of a gasoline. There are other type of a segment who are considered to be the road warriors. Then other type of segment which was considered to be the looking into the fun activities. So these, likewise, you can come out based on the benefits, depending on the type of the product, different types of the segment. Suppose if it is an airline, then we can segment it on the basis of the time. So passengers who plan their trip much in advance and passengers who are in urgency and wants to go for an air travel. So these passengers can be business travelers, or these passengers can also be the personal travelers who are looking for or who are meeting the emergency situation. And on the other side, there are travelers who are considered to be the planned travelers. So this is the method base of the segmentation. So for example, based on the occasions, we can segment the market on the basis of the type of the user, whether he is an ex-user, whether he is a first-time user, whether he is a regular user, whether he is a repeat user. Then on the basis of the usage rates, whether it is a low, whether it is a medium usage, whether it is a high usage, based on the attitude, whether a negative attitude, whether a neutral attitude, whether a favorable attitude, based on the intention to purchase, whether he is too intense to purchase, or on the other side, extreme other side, which is not at all interested in purchase. So these are the different ways in which we segment the market. methods or basis of segmentation. Once that is being undertaken, then we'll move to how we are going to identify the segment. So there are criterias. So there are criterias in terms of whether you can identify, whether you can pinpoint that segment, whether you can measure the segment, whether you can describe the segment, whether you feel that that segment is substantial, whether that segment is likely to respond, and whether are you going to reach out to that segment. So these are the criterias on which you can identify the segment. There is another more important criteria, that is profitability. Yes, for companies, profit is important because by generating profit, they can give value to the customers and they can also give back to the society. For example, look at the companies which were doing well earlier, but when the corona crisis hit, these companies came forward and supported the corporate social responsibility activities. They provided food at no cost. They reduced the price of some of the product. They allowed their facilities to be used even by the non-customers. So this is how some of the companies came forward to support the societies. So how to determine the profit? So profit can be determined from the size of the segment. Then how many people will adopt to the product? Then purchase behavior. What is purchase behavior? Purchase behavior is a function of purchase price and the frequency of usage. So how many times people will be using or that customer will be using, and then what is the contribution margin? So what is the contribution margin? That is whatever your sales price less the variable cost less the fixed cost. That is what can be considered, that is how you can determine the profitability. So this is how you need to identify the segment. Now there is a next step. The next step is about targeting the segment. So there are 4 major ways in which you can target the segment. The first is undifferentiated market. Look at the time when Ford was launched. So Henry Ford said that I can only give a car in black in color. No other colors were available. Look at the time when Kinetic Honda, had their vehicle launched in the market. What type of vehicle? Only it was black in color. After some time, it came with different colors. So that is what we say as undifferentiated. Then differentiated. Now you considered 2 or 3 different types of the segments that you are going to tap. So this is how differentiated. Then there is a concentrated. So for example, institution like Small Industries Development Bank of India, they only concentrate on the financial needs of the micro, small and medium enterprises. So this is concentrated. And now with the technology, even before, there was one type of a segmentation which was very prevalent, and that segment is considered to be one-to-one segment. So depending on the individual customers, you go to the level of micro segmentation. It also includes the strategies of personalization. So you go to the extent of one-to-one. It is also known as a micro segment. So these are the 4 different types of the segment, 4 different ways in which you can target the segment. And once you target, now it comes the aspect of positioning. So positioning is what is positioning? positioning is there into the mind of the customers. So you are trying to create an image. You are trying to create a desired image in the minds of the consumers. How to do positioning? What are the factors that you need to consider for positioning? So here we need to look into what is that the customers are looking for. Maybe in terms of the solution, what is the benefit that the company is offering? What is the benefit that the competitors are offering? And if that is the company's benefit and the customer's need, if there is a match, then it is known as a value proposition. So it is the benefit which is looked by the targeted customer. And that benefits can be in the form of the economical benefit, that benefit can be in the form of the functional benefits, that benefits in the form of emotional benefit, in the base of a particular situation, epistemic, any kind of a benefit, any type of value that a customer looks for, that is a part of a value proposition. For coming out with the positioning, there is another thing which is very helpful, that is a perceptual map. So how to come out with a perceptual map? So there is a way, or there are some steps to be followed to come out with a perceptual map. So first is you need to determine the attributes, right? Then thereafter you need to come out with the attributes that matters in the market. Thereafter you can look into the, you can have, two axes, right? So for example, you can say a bike market, you can, on the basis of the two axes. So one axis you can say a powerful, and other side, that is say x axis, powerful on the extreme high side, powerful on that side, there is less powerful. And on the y axis, say fuel efficiency. So fuel efficiency and power, that can be the way in which you can consider these two parameters, and then find what is the total, what is the market size in a particular quadrant. So you come out with a market size at a particular level of the quadrant, and then you come out with what is that customers think about your brand and the competitor's brand. Now, having determined that, you may find that there is a space which is available for you, which you need to tap, or you need to adopt to that positioning. Then you are going to work out to come out with that positioning. And that is where the importance of the brand. Now when it comes to the brand, there are three ways in which you can build the brand. One is, as you are aware, the name itself, the term, symbol, nowadays their website address. If it is a mobile app, their mobile app, right, address of the mobile app. So all this, or URL, signature tune, everything, this is known as a primary brand element. And what are the characteristics of the primary brand element? So there are the characteristics. These characteristics are, it should be memorable, then it should be meaningful, then it should be likable, it should be transferable, it should be adaptable, and it should be protectable. Then you also need to look into the marketing programs. You look at Saffola. What was the marketing program of Saffola? The marketing program of Saffola was to tie up with the doctors and do certain programs, activation programs, do a kind of a free lipid test for the audience, for the people, and that will create a hype in the market. So there are marketing programs. So you'll have to consider the relevant marketing programs. And in today's time, we find that brands are considering for bigger purpose. They are not only in their advertising focusing on their products and services, but they are talking about the purpose of the brand, bigger purpose of the brand. And that purpose, we are also going to, at the end of this, we are also going to see a video that is ad of Saffola, right? This ad is for women who get into the stress that is largely unseen. And this is dedicated, that ad is dedicated to that. So it is looking for a larger purpose. You look at the purpose, by a brand into detergent brand, which was took a, that is share the load. Tata, for example, Jagore campaign. So brand takes a purpose or some programs, which programs helps to connect with the audience, with the prospects, with the customers, and then brands also need to look into the secondary brand association. Secondary brand association is about the place, it is about the people, it is about the other brands, and about the things. So these are the four constituents of secondary brand association. Now when it comes to the positioning, it is very important to consider or reflect on the category and how to establish the category membership. So there are three ways in which category membership can be established. This is about how you are able to create the descriptors. That is, whether you are able to create a product descriptors, which is part of the category. For example, when at the end, that is at the suffix, it is mentioned as bank, it is reflecting the descriptor. The descriptor is reflecting about the category, right? Next is you talk about the category benefits. So today we find the sanitizer brand, sanitizer as a category getting developed, and so many brands we find into the sanitizer. So a brand which wants to make a strong presence, they should talk about the category benefits which is relevant to the customers. So your positioning should be such that it should be desirable to the customers. You are able to deliver and you are able to differentiate from the customers. If customers find your positioning and competitors' positioning as same, then you really need to work more, right, to create your unique positioning. Positioning is about creating a differentiation. Positioning is about the uniqueness. So there are some ways in which you can find the uniqueness of the brand. So this is how, and then you can also compare if it's a new brand coming into that category, then that brand can compare with the exemplars or with the existing brands in that category. That is how the positioning is developed. Now when we look into the brand, there are the brand strategies such as branded house, sub-brand or house of brands. These are the three different types of the strategies in brand. And then it is also about brand extension, when one particular brand name is leveraged into a new product category. And if it is in the same product line, then it is known as a line extension. And if it is coming in a different category, different product line, then it is considered as a different category, then it is known as a category extension. So this is how we look into the brand extensions, we looked into the branding strategies, and now we are going to look into the video, that is the advertisement by Saffola. Let's look into the advertisement.
हर रोज की टाइट डेडलाइंस, हर रोज टारगेट के प्रेशर्स।
बेटा ये कपड़े प्रेस कर देना।
एक प्रोजेक्ट खत्म नहीं होता, दूसरा आ जाता है।
धीमी आंच पे रखा कर।
एक संडे भी फ्री नहीं मिलता अपने लिए।
हाँ मॉम।
3 बॉसेस मैनेज करने में ना हालत खराब हो जाती है।
मैं देखता हूँ।